Happy Thursday, everybody. Rubik's Master here with the beginning of another series. I'm going to be making Mondays and Thursdays my episodic days. You know exactly what you're going to get. Mondays, as we've discussed, are going to be discussion videos. Thursdays are going to be defense reviews. So hopefully these will be a little bit quicker. I'm just going to run through a few attacks and defenses. I did get attacked a lot recently, many of which defeated me, many of which I won against. So we're going to start with this first one here, which is the only one I actually watched so far. The other ones are going to be random picks, but this one is actually a really good attack. It's an example of how you can lose, but not really lose, and the other guy can win and come back even from bad choices. Okay, so this guy immediately ran in, destroyed my not my war factory, my helipad, and my salvo turret. Pretty good choices. So we're going to speed this up a little bit because he's going to be a little slow in deploying. He deploys his choppers, and he basically gives my troops the run around, leading them all out so he can deploy his tanks. He is wisely keeping it out of reach of my sniper unit, and I deal a little bit of damage to his platoon at this point, but not all that much. Now this is when it gets a little hairy. He's going to have to take out that flak turret before he can really bring in his helicopters, but his helicopters are where a lot of his DPS comes from, and that's the mistake I was talking about. He came in, he wasn't micro-controlling enough, and he let his rocket buggies get in front of his tanks, causing him to immediately lose a good portion of his DPS, and in trying to correct that mistake, he's now lost all his tanks. So he's just going to work his way around, and he's going to do the whole in and out, destroying my flak turret. Now, I'm going to speed this up. While this is all going, as soon as that's done, he brings in his helicopters, which deal the most DPS. They are only level 3 though, and he only has 3 of them. But he doesn't actually manage to get 100%. He only takes 11,000 of my metal and 1,000 of my thorium, but I dealt a lot of damage to that platoon. That's a very expensive repair, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. I will not be able to win against all attacks, especially properly executed ones with fine microcontrol, but my goal is to do as much damage as possible. So we watched one that I lost. Let's pick a random one that I properly defended. Now, some of these may be people jumping in trying to complete their dynamic objectives, but most of the time I don't think so. At the level that I'm at, most people aren't trying to complete their dynamic objectives. Okay, right off the bat, I see a big problem with this dude's build. He has no tanks, he has no HP, and he has Humvees as an intrinsic. Okay, my brain failed me. As a main proponent of that platoon. Now, he is actually doing a lot better than I would think, but I'm not quite sure what exactly is going on here. If he would have kept pushing, there's a chance. Like, he already had both machine gun turrets down. He was inside the range of the salvo turret. If he would have kept pushing and destroyed both of those rail guns, he may have been able to defeat me, though I don't know if he actually would have been able to. At that point, he had lost a good portion of his DPS. Mainly it was just his Humvees and a couple rocket buggies left. So I don't know if he would have been able to defeat those railguns. So we'll exit out of that one. That was just an example of a poorly formed platoon. Your platoon is not going to make it if you don't have something out in front to deal damage. Or in the case of a mono-build helicopter platoon, you just have to find the right kind of base, and you've just front-loaded all your damage. So let's find another one. Let's watch this most recent attack by someone from Raw, which technically my alliance is allied with, but I'm sure it was just through PvP. I don't check names when I'm going through PvP either, and even if I did, I don't know if I would spare someone even if I knew them. So, yeah, helicopter mono build will destroy my base about 100% of the time, but I also deal a ton of damage to the air units. Maybe not as much as I would have liked, but that's still probably going to be about a 2,000 oil repair. So, it is what it is. I probably need to upgrade my flak tors, but those upgrades are expensive, and I'm kind of upgrading my units and establishing a little bit better of a defense by upgrading my defense platforms as I go. I'm upgrading the cheapest things first, I guess I should say. Then I'll go for the turrets, because the flak and salvo especially are very expensive upgrades. So let's watch two more. Let's watch another successful defense and another successful attack. I hope you guys are liking this. Let me know if you do like it. I'm trying to keep this one a lot faster paced to keep you guys invested in it. Okay, this guy has something that could be a good platoon. It's spread out a little bit, like I wouldn't do it, but he does have the 3 Abrams and a bunch of S-13s. However, I normally choose to put my squads of S-13s and tanks next to each other so that I can easily select all my units with 2 fingers, rather than having to try and, do some kind of weird tabby thingy, trying to select 2 units that are split by an infantry. Now, okay, so something, you guys that have seen my attacks, I am a patient guy. If I'm going to do an airstrike, I do my airstrike immediately upon entering the battle. But after that, I deploy my units and I wait. If you try and invade a base while it's deploying its defending units, you are going to lose most of the time. Now, I understand if the barracks, helipad, and war factory are very easy to get to, and you can destroy those quickly while taking fire, but before they deploy anything, that's a viable strategy. But if you're just going in balls to the wall while your enemy's defending units are deploying, you're going to lose. That's where a lot of the defending units' DPS come from, is from their deployed units. And it's just multiplying the damage that you're taking, and especially when helicopters deploy, your front-loaded tanks just can't take that much damage. They just can't do it. Alright, so let's watch one more where they defeated me. I lost a lot of resources on this one, and I don't think we watched it yet. That's the problem with picking by random. I can't remember exactly which ones I picked, but oh well. Alright, 2 tanks and 10 Cobras. This is actually a platoon I'm gonna have a video on probably Tuesday. I am making this video on Tuesday, but I normally like having my videos made at least one day in advance. Gives me a little wiggle room just in case something crazy happens. So yeah, that worked out. Did he didn't even deploy his tanks. Nope, he didn't deploy his tanks. Just his 10 Cobras were enough, but I did deal a lot of damage to his Reapers. So again, that's probably going to be, it may be less than 2,000 oil repair. But again, what you going to do? I already know that my weak spot is helicopter units, but for someone to use a helicopter platoon against me, they're going to have to take heavy damage on their air support. So it is what it is, and I just accept that. I try to not keep much metal in my reserves, but I didn't really log on much yesterday, so my metal factories were sitting there chock full and just begging to be taken out. So can't really blame this guy. He got 90. Holy cow, he's going to get over 100,000 metal, but I only lost 55 from my reserves. But he's going to get over 100,000 metal from this one attack. So yeah, he was very well off on this account. Anyway, hope you guys liked it. Let me know if you want to see more of this. Personally, I enjoyed it. I enjoy these faster-paced episodes where there's less downtime and I don't have to go through and try and cut out all the totally empty parts of the video. But let me know what y'all think. And until next time, y'all have an awesome day.